Now, some of you are probably old enough, if you go back, remember Bob Dylan's song in 1962, I think, "The Answer is Blowing in the Wind." And it was a time of great social upheaval, and people were rising up and looking for a better way of life and so on. And you could, Jesus uses a different metaphor in the gospel this morning when he's speaking to Nicodemus. He says, you've got to be born again to enter the kingdom of God. What does that really mean? The word we use in the Greek word is metanoia. You got to have a whole change of outlook, a new beginning, so to speak, a different way of looking at things. And I think the gospel this morning almost was made for what we're going through at the moment. I don't think, and I might be wrong, but I don't think we can just, when all this is finished, if we eventually get through the pandemic, that we can just go back again to what life was like before. We have to have a new way of doing things, a new way of seeing things. And isn't it interesting? Easter is about a transformation. It wasn't just Jesus being raised from the dead is the story of Easter, but the suffering and death that he went through, and then being raised from the dead. And isn't that what we're going through at the moment? A certain, I suppose, kind of the dying, where we have died at the moment to the old way of life, the way we lived up to now, the way we were doing things, the normal things you thought you did every day without thinking. Suddenly, you can no longer do those. And so we're all acting in a new way, totally new way. And I do think that out of this, a lot of good will come. That is my hope. And it's not just my hope, it's my belief that eventually we'll go back to a much better way of life. Just like we don't know the answer at the moment, but the answer is blowing in the wind, and it will happen.